there's no greater place on earth. I've worked in 138 countries, every American state, and I can promise you there's no place like Nebraska.
We've traveled in Europe, we've lived on the East Coast and on the West Coast, and after all of those adventures, I find myself back where I began in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And when I ask myself what brought me back here, I have to admit that it's the beauty, the enchantment of the land. The nature, the sunsets, the wind whistling across the prairies, all of those things are what call you to Nebraska, and you know that you've found a place that you can truly love.
I wasn't born here, but I am a Nebraskan by choice. I came here to go to law school at Creighton many, many years ago, 1971, and I just knew almost immediately that I was going to spend my life in this state. There's just something special about the people. I think when this state was settled, it was a tough place. This was the great American desert. And then we figured out a way to irrigate and grow corn and soybeans and feed the world. And that just, it's a testament to the grit and toughness of Nebraskans and our ancestors.
Life lessons I learned growing up on a ranch, I learned what hard work is. You know, there's a lot of people that think going and sitting in an office for 8 hours a day is tough work, but tough work is coming out here 12 hours a day from sunrise to sunset, not really getting any breaks. You have to come out here and make sure fences are done, cows are taken care of, haying's done. All that stuff is going to be good to go, because if you don't get it done today, you're just going to have to do it tomorrow.
You pretty much get what you see, and yet by the same token, most people are pretty genuine, and that's what I like. And I like the fact that you can kind of be yourself, and the roots run deep, and I think that builds good character. And
the people are wonderful. They'll wave at you as you go down the highway. You might not like your neighbor here, but you'll make sure his curtains are open in the morning, and if they're not, you'll have them checked on.
The landscape and the people do go together in Nebraska because, first of all, we are a diverse citizenry. We have everything from row crops and corn to the sand hills to the toadstool park and everything in between, and our people are just the same way, and that's why we appreciate and take care of our state.
This is the last frontier. It's kind of like the buck stops here. Well, we need to keep this land pure and in its natural state. There's 20,000 square miles of sandhills in Nebraska. It took thousands of years to get this way. The native grasses and the wildflowers and the wildlife and the water that's under it. We need to keep it pure and clean and for generations to come.
I've heard people say Nebraska is the middle of nowhere, but it's the middle of everywhere. This is a place that's grounded in agricultural heritage that has taught people to nurture each other, nurture the land, nurture future generations. We're feeding the world with good food and with good ideas, and it is grounded in a history of creation.
Well, Nebraska is an agriculture state, and because of that, none of us can forget about where we came from. And the people in this state love what they do, and it shows in the product that they put out, not only in agriculture, but in everything else that you see in the state.
we give up a lot, you know, here as far as things to participate in, and yet we find a calmness and a satisfaction of being living here and raising our children here. We chase our kids around, and the next generation comes around, and the next generation. So I guess maybe our children that we pass on is a heritage of being content where we're at, finding happiness, knowing that God's all around us, and that's life here for us. And I guess maybe that's how comes we think our Sand Hills is something special.